Hey guys, Sandy here, and I am here with my July kit for our Kill a Kit with Style video series. Now I've decided I'm going to make this layout that I'm working with into a 2-pager. I had only pulled one of these sheets of paper, so I went back to my stash, grabbed another one, and I did that because I wanted my title to be huge. The title is going to be Cookies for Days, and I have these great My Mind's Eye monogram alphabets that I wanted to use. They're gold and glittery, so they are perfect for Christmas. All right, let's see what I can do.
All right, so the first thing I did was use that scrap of holly paper, and I just kind of figured where my letters were going to go and put the holly paper above that. I just wanted a little bit of a base so that my photos would have a resting place and they wouldn't be resting right on the big, huge title. Now, I also used a Tim Holtz Christmas scrap there and just placed it right across the page because I wanted it to line up perfectly, and then cut it. And now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, this is a little bit too long. I do not want it to span across the entire page. So, like a maniac, instead of just trimming it with scissors, I bend it forward and put it through my trimmer. And I do get a perfectly straight line, which may or may not have happened with the scissors. Not because my scissors are janky or anything, but because every once in a while the straight line does not happen. So I'm just trying to figure out which order I want my photos in, and I definitely want the photos in kind of like prep order. So I can't even tell you if these are the correct order. I'm thinking it is because the peanut can has peanuts missing from it, but I made so many cookies this past Christmas, and I mean so many cookies. So when this title is Cookies for Days, it is no lie. I made cookies for my husband's work, I made cookies for my work, I made cookies for us. I believe I started making cookies in November and did not stop until probably the week of Christmas, just because I just made so many cookies for so many people. I know I went and bought cookie baking supplies twice last year, once at the beginning of cookie baking season and once in the middle because I needed more. And it was just a complete and utterly insane amount of cookies that I had been doing. So, anyway, that is why this huge gold title is going to be perfect for it. It's just a mess of cookies. Like, so many, guys. I can't even. Oh, so many cookies. Okay, so these were those big glittered letters from My Mind's Eye, and look at them. They just look fantastic. I love big, bold. I have a thing for fonts. I just like fonts. I like different fonts. I went through a phase where I was just collecting free fonts on the internet, and it was utterly ridiculous how many fonts I had on my computer because I never really used them. I just collected them because I like it. I like different fonts. When we lived in Maryland and they were starting to redo road signs, I noticed that the font had changed, and my husband was like, "What are you talking about, you maniac? Nothing has changed." So when we would drive, I would be like, okay, look at this sign. And he'd be like, all right. And then I'd go, okay, look at this sign. And he would be like, what? They're the same. I'm like, no, they're not. Don't you see the difference? Can't you see the difference in the E? Can't you see the difference in the A? And finally, one day, he actually saw the difference, and he was like, I cannot believe that you noticed that, that you even pay attention to that. But that's the kind of stuff that I like. Now that I've been talking about that, this is Tim Holtz Grunge Board, and it has been around for ages, and I have had this for ages. Now, interestingly enough, that little tag on the outside of the packaging is a piece of grunge board, and it feels very dry and brittle, not at all the way the grunge board feels that has been kept in the package. And the grunge board that I have already used and placed in my albums doesn't feel like dry and brittle like that either. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but it is. So I don't want to leave it naked. I don't want the naked grunge board. So I pull out some markers, and I am just testing them out to see like the level of the color. So I have two different reds, and neither one of them are really what I want, what I'm kind of going for. So I go with my old standby of my Copic black marker, and I just use it to color the entire letter. So I color the letter and the edges so that you don't see the natural color of the grunge board. And I'm just going to fill all of the letters in that say for days, and then adhere them right on top of that green polka dotted paper. Don't worry, I will not make you watch me color in all the letters. Those little black lines kind of looked like a smiley face on that scrap paper. Okay, so here I've already adhered the 4 days, and I'm just trying to figure out like what else I can add to this to give it some decoration, basically, because this is just straight words so far. That's really all I have, is some huge words and a little bit of paper. And you know what? Sometimes that's all you need or want are huge words and a little bit of paper. But this is going to be, this is Christmas, and I love Christmas. And if you've watched any of my documenting December videos or any flip throughs, you'll know that I love Christmas and I love decorating for Christmas, and I especially love Christmas trees. We have, I don't even know how many Christmas trees anymore. I told my husband when we first got married 20 years ago that my goal was to have a fully decorated Christmas tree in every room of the house, just because I love Christmas that much. So it's happening. Like, we have the big tree in the living room, and I have one in the dining room, and I have one in my scrapbook room, and we have one in our bedroom, and we have one up in like it's kind of like a den area where the kids hang out, and the kids each have like little trees, like a mini tree, like a 3-footer in their rooms that they decorate and put in. So it's happening. Like the Christmas trees are happening. So yeah, I just love Christmas. It makes me ridiculously happy. So as much as I love to decorate my home, I definitely want my scrapbook pages to be decorated as well. So here I am messing with that baker's twine, and leave me a comment down below if you want to. Tell me about your Christmas tree, because I'm a huge fan of Christmas trees. Probably should have waited to ask this question until I actually scrapbook a page of the Christmas trees, because I'm doing cookies, but whatever. It's how my mind works, so that's the way we're going. Tell me, do you do one Christmas tree? Do you do any Christmas trees? Do you change out your theme every year? Do you stick with one theme? I have a lot of choices in themes since I have a lot of Christmas trees, and I used to switch it out every year when we had one Christmas tree. But as we've gotten more and more Christmas trees, I kind of get to indulge all my themes. Okay, now these are Tim Holtz rub-ons, and I have heard that these rub-ons are really difficult to use, and that they are good for like mixed media backgrounds and stuff like that, and not really great to use as elements. But I needed to try it out, and if it didn't turn out, I figured I could always put some stickers over top of them and cover it up in some way. And well, imagine my surprise, because these were purchased at Tuesday morning, so they've been around a while. Imagine my surprise when they worked. I was super, super excited for it. So I used my very old original Creative Memories multi-purpose tool here, and I believe you can still buy them. I'm getting ready to place another Creative Memories order. because I want another one of these guys, and there are some other things that I want to get. I'm toying with the idea of going back to a Creative Memories trimmer, because when I used it back when I was originally a Creative Memories consultant, I loved that sucker, and it always cut straight lines for me. It just always did. And then when I stopped being a consultant, I didn't have such ease of access to get to the replacement blades. It's much harder to find a consultant, order it, and have to deal with, oh, you only want trimmer blades? Really? Yeah, I can't place an order for just trimmer blades for you, so whatever. But anyway, if you want to order trimmer blades, like, I would totally be cool with just placing a trimmer blade order for you. Now, interestingly enough, I am a Creative Memories consultant again, just because I want tools and I wanted the discount to get them. I've got, like, the border maker. Like, I'm slowly making this happen over this year it's going to be a year. Like, I've committed to a year because of the stuff I want to get. After that, who knows? Like, I'm not working it as a business or anything like that. I'm kind of just, like, getting what I want out of it. I also ordered the Disney, or the Imagine, Creative Memories line, and while the papers are very thin, I love the colors. Like, they work great. They integrate great with my other Disney stuff, but that's Disney, and now we're working on Christmas. So now these little arrows are also from Grunge Board, and that little cookies and milk die cut is from Ellie's Studio. And as you can tell, while I was running my mouth about everything but what I was doing on this page, that tag over there under 4 days was something that I split apart, popped back under there. And now I'm thinking I have these great snowflakes over here on the right side of the page. I should put some snowflakes over here as well, where I'm making this little decorative bit. And then while I was looking down there, I felt like the tag was really kind of blending into the background because the creams were so similar, like you couldn't really see a difference. So I just decided to take a thin zig marker and do kind of like a sketchy line around it, just so that you can see that there's a little bit of definition and the tag is not like getting lost into the paper and there's just some baker's twine just like hanging out there. So I've got these rub-ons going on. And I did a similar thing over on this side where I have 3 different size snowflakes. Now I also added a star by the 4 days, and that's less of like the decorative element and more of a title element, I guess. At least that's the way I was thinking about it in my mind. So, if it works for you, if your scrapbook page and what you're doing works for you and it makes sense in your own head, then go for it, guys. Like, who cares if it doesn't make sense in anybody else's head? They're your pages and your photos and your memories, so it should be making sense in your own head, right? Right. Okay. Oh, there's my highlighter. So I have a pink highlighter that I use at work, and I bring some of my papers and paperwork and stuff home and back and forth to work, and I couldn't find my pink highlighter, and I thought I had lost it and like dropped it on the street or in the parking lot or something, and hooray, I found it. It was sitting with my inks. Don't know how it got there. Okay, so I just decided to go ahead and twine up this tag as well. Now, to be honest with you, I didn't even realize that that was a tag. I just thought it was a decorative die cut until I saw the little hole, and I figured since it had a little hole, it needed a little twine. So that is done. And I'm thinking of what I can do to pizzazz these little things up, and I decided to grab these little Studio G adhesive gems. I received these from my secret sister at Heather's Crafty Life's Scrapbook Retreat. So yay, thank you so much, and look at me using them. Now up here, I felt like I needed a little bit more decoration. Like, I've got 3 big photos and big title and 2 areas kind of embellishment and fun, and I felt like I needed a little bit more. So I decided that I needed to make something happen up here in the top left corner. And that little oval thing right there is actually the center of an O. So what I'm going to do is kind of recreate what I have going on down here in the bottom right hand corner to the top left over here. So I have my green dot paper layered on top of my red holly paper, and I'm thinking at first I'm just going to go ahead and have this gold peek out from underneath of it. And once I put it up there up at the top, I realized that is not the look I like. I'm like, no, don't like that. So I'm just going to rub my ATG adhesive right off of that little chipboard piece and then layer it up so that it looks good to my eye. So there we go. Now, I did bring this glittery gold bit up to the top, and I did not add any extra of those glittery gold bits to the other 2 embellishment clusters. And that is because my title is so large and it spans basically both embellishment clusters that the gold is there. It's already there. It just needed a little bit of extra up here at the top. So of course I needed to add a couple more of my snowflakes. So I cut out 3 of those bad boys, and I'm just going to go ahead and place them kind of like hugging that oval basically. And I just get those down, and then I'm going to also pull out those Studio G sticky gemstones that Fran had given me. So hi Fran! She was my secret sister, which I think I just told you that. There they are, and those little guys fit in there perfectly. So now I'm liking what I've got going on. I've got some, like I have this line of black throughout the entire layout. And when I was creating this page, like I didn't go in with the intention of having an embellishment on a diagonal line. And it does span the entire, layout. So it goes from the top left down to the center, down to the bottom right. And like I said, it wasn't my intention, but it just happened, and I like the way it happened. So as you can see, I was like trying to figure out something I could add, some words, some sort of something somewhere. So I got these cut aparts from Pretty Little Studio, and I went ahead and cut out this black one that says loving it. And I just grabbed my Copic marker one more time and just did the outline so that you wouldn't see that white edge around it. Now I made sure not to have any kind of like peeking edge from the grunge board, whether it was on the arrows or from the letters. So I wanted to keep kind of that feeling when I added that word sticker. And then I have this little arrow that I'm trying to find the exact right place for, so I'm just messing around with it a little bit. And once I figure that out, I go ahead and commit and put it down because I liked it enough to leave it. And that is kind of, my philosophy. I usually, if it works, slap it down, but I kind of like if you like it enough to leave it a little bit more than if it works, slap it down. So they're both fun. Now this is some Heidi Swapp Gold Color Shine, and I'm just sprinkling it around the page just to bring that gold, little bit of shimmer and shine throughout the entire thing. And then that's going to wrap it up for this double page layout. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out everyone else who is killing their kits with style this July, and go ahead and like it if you liked it, and subscribe so you don't miss any more. I'll see you guys later.